The day after my wedding, my father stood in front of 58 relatives and said, "No real daughter would accuse her own father of stealing from her dying mother. Sienna is dead to this family." 6 years ago, when my mother had breast cancer, he convinced me to sign over the only thing my grandfather ever left me, our family cabin worth $120,000, to save her life. I signed it without hesitation. Last month, that same father called me and demanded $40,000 for my golden child brother's wedding. I mailed him $1. 3 days later, a police officer knocked on my door. He didn't come to arrest me. What he handed me made my father call me 52 times in 4 hours and turned his entire world upside down. My name is Sienna Crawford. I'm 31 years old and I'm a hospital administrator in Cleveland, Ohio. And this is the story of how I learned that family isn't who demands your silence. Family is who celebrates your voice. But I need to start earlier, because the theft didn't begin with the cabin. It began the day I was born into a family that had already decided I was worth less. I was 18 when I first saw the numbers. June 2012. My father sat me down at the kitchen table in our Lakewood house, the same table where every major manipulation in my life would eventually happen, and showed me my college fund. Case Western had accepted me. I was excited. I'd worked for this. The folder he slid across the table was thin. 8 pages. My college fund, $8,200. That's it? I remember asking. My father didn't look at me. "Sienna, you've always been independent. You'll figure it out." Tyler was 13 at the time. He was at baseball practice. His folder sat on the counter, unopened. I saw the tab. Tyler, Education Fund. It was easily 4 times thicker than mine. I didn't ask about it then. I took out student loans. $43,000 over 4 years. I paid every penny myself. 7 years of payments. The final check I wrote was for $87.50. September 18th, 2019. I remember sitting in that bank, listening to the teller congratulate me, and feeling absolutely nothing. Because Tyler's medical school tuition? My parents paid $55,000 a year for 4 years. $220,000. He graduated debt-free. I graduated with a burden that took 7 years to lift. But that's how it always was. Thanksgiving 2015, Tyler got accepted to medical school. My father opened a bottle of Dom Perignon. $180. The champagne flowed. Everyone toasted. 30 minutes of celebration. I'd gotten promoted to junior administrator at Cleveland Clinic that same month. Youngest person in my department to reach that level. My mother mentioned it once. "Oh, Sienna got a promotion too. That's nice, honey." 20 seconds. Then back to Tyler. My grandfather noticed. Patrick Murray. He was 78 that year, already frail. After dinner, he found me on the porch. He handed me an envelope. "Don't open it now," he said. "But when you do, remember, I see you." 2 months later, he was gone. Inside the envelope was a property deed and a handwritten note. "For Sienna, the one who loved this place. Don't let anyone take it from her." The property was 1847 Hickory Ridge Road, Burton, Ohio. The cabin. I'd spent summers there as a kid. My grandfather taught me to fish off the dock. We'd sit on the porch and he'd tell me stories about my grandmother, Catherine, who'd died when I was 10. They'd bought the place in 1972. Planted an oak tree that first year. Carved their initials, PM plus CM. When I was 10, he helped me carve mine below theirs. SM 2004. That cabin was the only place I ever felt like I was enough. Like I didn't have to earn my presence. The will reading was 4 days after the funeral. The family attorney read my grandfather's wishes. "To my granddaughter Sienna Murray, I leave 1847 Hickory Ridge Road in its entirety. Estimated value, $120,000. She is the only one who ever truly loved it. My father stood up. That's not fair. That should be split. The attorney kept reading. I also leave a note for my son Vincent. This is for Sienna. Don't let anyone take it from her. My grandfather knew. Somehow, he knew. For the next 5 years, that cabin was my sanctuary. I renovated the guest room, repainted the porch yellow, my grandmother's favorite color. I invited my friends, Rachel, Olivia, Amanda. I started a guest book, Hickory Ridge Cabin, Welcome. 47 entries between 2015 and 2020, all chosen family, not one blood relative. My father asked once if he could use it for a family reunion. I said no. He didn't ask again. In November 2017, I met Nathan Crawford, forensic accountant. Kind, steady, detail-oriented. The kind of man who notices when something doesn't add up. He came to the cabin that winter, sat on the porch with me, wrote in the guest book. Now I understand why you love this. This is where you're most yourself. In February 2020, we went back to the cabin. Nathan proposed an idea. What if we got married here? Small ceremony. Just the people who matter. I said yes. We started planning. Ceremony by the lake. Reception on the porch. Summer 2021. We took photos that day. Nathan captured me standing in front of the cabin at sunset. That photo became my phone wallpaper. 3 weeks later, everything changed. March 11th, 2020. I was at my office at Cleveland Clinic when my phone rang. My mother's voice was shaking. Honey, I'm at the doctor. It's cancer. Breast cancer. Stage 2. I'm scared. The world was already falling apart. COVID-19 had been declared a pandemic the day before. Hospitals were preparing for chaos. I was working 70-hour weeks managing supply logistics, staff rotations, patient overflow, and now my mother was sick. I drove to Metro Hospital, ran one red light, arrived in 12 minutes. My mother sat alone in the waiting room, holding a pamphlet. Understanding your breast cancer diagnosis, COVID-19 update. 2 fears on 1 page. 4 days later, we had the diagnosis details. Invasive ductal carcinoma. Treatment plan. Surgery in May. Chemotherapy through fall. Radiation in winter. The oncologist said it was very treatable. Good prognosis if we acted aggressively. And then he said the number. With your insurance, out of pocket should be around $10,000 to $12,000. I remember my father nodding. 12,000. We can manage that. But 3 days after that, my father called an emergency family meeting. Sunday afternoon, March 15th, 2020. Living room, 4 chairs, 6 feet apart because of COVID distancing. My father stood up. He had a yellow legal pad in his hands. Your mother needs treatment, he said. The oncologist gave us the best case scenario. But with COVID, if she needs ICU time, if treatment gets delayed, if she needs experimental drugs not covered by insurance, we're looking at $85,000, maybe more. 85,000. Tyler was 21, home from college. Do we have that? He asked. My father shook his head. We have about 30,000 in savings. That leaves 55,000 we don't have. My mother was crying quietly. I don't want to bankrupt the family. My father looked at me, just looked at me, didn't ask. Stated, Sienna, we need to talk about the cabin. The room went silent. I felt my throat close. I glanced down at the legal pad. Just for a second. I saw writing. Assets, cabin, Sienna. $120,000. He'd calculated it before the meeting, before he even asked me. I called Rachel the next day. She's a nurse practitioner. Do cancer treatments really cost $85,000 with insurance? I asked. No, she said. Typically 10 to 15,000 out of pocket, unless there are complications. COVID complications? Maybe. It's hard to say. Everything's chaos right now. I spent a week Googling. The information was conflicting. Some articles mentioned 6 figures, others mentioned far less. I was scared. My mother was immunocompromised. COVID was killing people every day. What if the oncologist was wrong? What if the estimate was low? Fear overrode doubt. March 25th, 2020. I called my father. I'll transfer the cabin. Just as collateral, right? I asked. Like a home equity line? When treatment's done, I get it back? There was a pause. Of course. We're just using it as security. Temporary. I promise. I need that in writing. Another pause. Sienna, I'm your father. You don't trust me? Guilt hit me like a wave. It's not that. I just want to be sure. This is your mother's life. Can we focus on that instead of paperwork? Rachel texted me that night. Please get the agreement in writing. I read the message. Didn't reply. Fell asleep with the phone in my hand. May 16th, 2020. The signing. My father chose a different attorney than the one who'd read my grandfather's will. Bernard and Associates. COVID precautions everywhere. Masks, plexiglass, hand sanitizer. The attorney slid the document across the table. Transfer of property deed. 1847 Hickory Ridge Road from Sienna K. Murray to Vincent James Murray and Patricia Ann Murray. I read it twice. Wait, I said. I thought this was a loan against the property? My father spoke quickly. It's the same thing, honey. We need full ownership to secure the funds. But it's temporary. We'll transfer it back after treatment. The attorney frowned slightly. Mr. Murray, that's not... My father cut him off. We're family. This is a family arrangement. The attorney looked at me. Miss Murray, I need to clarify. Once you sign this, the property is theirs. If you want it back, they would have to voluntarily transfer it. There's no legal obligation. I looked at my father. You'll transfer it back, though, right? Of course. I promise. I signed. The pen was cheap. A Bic ballpoint with the attorney's logo. He notarized the document. It's done. The property now belongs to Vincent and Patricia Murray. 15 minutes. 8 years of memories, transferred. My mother hugged me in the parking lot. Thank you. You saved my life. I felt numb. That same day, the same day I signed, my father went to the bank. Applied for a $98,000 home equity line of credit on the cabin. Approved within 3 hours. By the end of that day, he had $98,000 in his account. I didn't know any of this yet. My mother had surgery on May 20th, 2020. Lumpectomy. Successful. The bill came 2 weeks later. Patient responsibility. $1,550. I saw the paper on my parents' kitchen table when I dropped off groceries. My father quickly covered it with a newspaper. Insurance is covering most of it, thank God. I nodded. Didn't think about it. But I should have. Because 1 month after my father took that equity line, June 12th, 2020, he purchased a rental property. 3820 West 131st Street, Parma, Ohio. 3-bedroom house. Down payment, $98,000. Not for medical treatment, for investment. My mother completed chemotherapy in December 2020. Radiation from January to March 2021. April 2021, she was declared in remission. I waited for my father to mention the cabin. He didn't. June 2021, I finally called him. Dad, Mom's in remission. Can we talk about transferring the cabin back? Not yet, he said. We still have outstanding bills to resolve. Give it time. How much time? Sienna, do you want your mother to have a relapse because we can't afford follow-up care? Guilt. Again. Always guilt. Then let me handle the finances, he said. I'll let you know when it's resolved. I stopped asking. It hurt too much. In August 2021, I drove past Burton for a work site visit. On impulse, I detoured to the cabin. My heart was pounding. I turned onto Hickory Ridge Road. The cabin looked different. New mailbox, fresh mulch in the flower beds, a car in the driveway. Not my parents' car, not Tyler's car, a stranger's car. A woman came out with a coffee mug, watered the plants on the porch. My porch. They'd rented it out. And they hadn't told me. I didn't confront anyone. I just turned around and drove away. I cried the entire 52 minutes back to Cleveland. That night, I typed in my notes app. Cabin is legally his. Rental income is his. I own nothing. I deleted it. Too painful to see in writing. October 2022. Tyler completed medical school and started his pediatric residency at Cleveland Clinic. Same hospital as me, different departments. One day, the family group text exploded with celebration. Tyler. Closed on the condo. Dad, thanks for the loan. You're the best. My father. Anything for my son. Family takes care of family. My mother. So proud of you, Tyler. $50,000. My father had loaned Tyler $50,000 for a condo down payment. I did the math in my head. Rental income on a cabin in Burton. Roughly $1,800 a month. May 2020 to October 2022. 29 months. 29 times $1,800. $52,200. Tyler was living in my inheritance. I saw him in the hospital hallway the next day. Hey, he said, want to see condo photos? I'm late for a meeting, I said. Walked away. He had no idea. None of them did. They genuinely believed my father when he said, family takes care of family. They just didn't realize I was never included in that definition of family. I threw myself into work. 2021. Promotion to Associate Director. 2023. Senior Associate Director. $91,000 a year. Youngest person in the role in hospital history. I framed the promotion letters on my apartment wall. Next to them, a photo of my grandfather at the cabin. 2 achievements. One I earned alone. One I lost for people who never valued me. September 2023. Nathan asked me to dinner. By then, we'd been dating for 6 years. That night, he proposed. Not at the cabin. We couldn't use it anymore. He proposed at a restaurant in downtown Cleveland. The ring was an emerald, not a diamond. Because you're not like everyone else, he said. I said yes. We started planning a wedding. Budget, $18,000. I paid $12,000. Nathan paid $6,000. We invited 73 people, 58 extended family members, 15 close friends and Nathan's family. Every time I mentioned the cabin as a venue, my parents deflected. It's not in good condition. Maybe another time. Your father doesn't want to talk about it. By September 2024, I'd stopped asking. Then November 2025 happened. Nathan was working on estate planning for after we got married. Tax documents, asset lists, property records. Standard stuff for a forensic accountant. Do you technically still own the cabin? He asked one evening. Or is it fully in their names? It affects our assets? I realized I'd never checked. I don't know. I signed transfer papers, but Dad said it was temporary. Want me to pull the records? No. I'll do it. That night, I couldn't sleep. 11:34 p.m. I opened my laptop. Geauga County property records. Typed, 1847 Hickory Ridge Road, Burton, Ohio. The page loaded. Owner, Vincent James Murray, Patricia Ann Murray. Transfer date, May 16th, 2020. Most recent transaction, none. Status, active. No sale, no second transfer. It was still in their names. 5.5 years later, and my father had never given it back. I took a screenshot, saved it to a folder I titled Cabin Investigation. Over the next 2 weeks, I pulled everything I could find. I had access to my mother's medical billing portal. I was still listed as her emergency contact from 2020 with HIPAA authorization. I downloaded every bill, every explanation of benefits, every payment record. Then I made a spreadsheet. Column A, date. Column B, service. Column C, amount billed. Column D, insurance paid. Column E, patient owed. 47 rows. Every transaction from March 2020 to March 2021. At the bottom, I added formulas. Total billed, $73,280. Insurance paid, $60,930. Patient responsibility, $12,350. Not $85,000. $12,350. I sat there staring at that number until my vision blurred. Then I pulled property records for Parma, Ohio, found 3,820 West 131st Street. Purchase date, June 12, 2020. Owner, Vincent Murray. Down payment, $98,000, 1 month after the cabin transfer. Exactly the amount of equity he could pull from a $120,000 property. He'd used my inheritance to buy rental property, while telling me it was for my mother's medical bills, while my mother was actively going through chemotherapy. He'd lied. Calculated, deliberate, premeditated lies. I printed everything, 3-hole punched it, put it in a blue binder with tabs, timeline, medical, property, financial, legal, 37 pages, December 31st, 2025, New Year's Eve. My family was having a gathering. For the first time in my life, I didn't go. My mother called. "Honey, where are you?" "Not feeling well. You guys celebrate." I sat at my desk, opened the binder, read the timeline one more time, from 2015, my grandfather's death, to now, 11 years. 11 years of being worth less, and 6 years of outright theft. I added one more entry at the bottom. January 15th, 2026. Elder financial abuse complaint filed. Then I closed the binder and whispered to my grandfather's photo. I'm keeping my promise. Finally. January 10th, 2026. I texted my father. Need to talk about something important. Can we meet Saturday? Just you and me? He agreed. Probably thought I wanted to ask for money or apologize for missing New Year's. We met at a Starbucks. Neutral territory. I brought a folder. Not the full binder, just 8 pages. Property deed, medical bill summary, rental property address, timeline. I put the folder on the table between us. The cabin, I said. I know it was never sold. His face hardened. Who told you that? Property records are public. It's still in your name. You've been spying on me? I've been verifying what you told me. You said the cabin was sold. It wasn't. You lied. He reached for the folder. I pulled it back. Let me finish. For the next 10 minutes, I laid it out. Medical bills, the real numbers. The rental property purchased 1 month after he got my cabin. Tyler's $50,000 down payment that came from rental income. My father's tactics were textbook. Deny, deflect, guilt trip, play victim, threaten. You're misremembering. We discussed this. The medical bills were more than that. There were other expenses. Your mother almost died. We did what we had to do. If you keep pushing this, you'll regret it. I stayed calm. When he was done, I stood up. You lied. You used Mom's cancer to steal my inheritance, and I'm done pretending I didn't notice. He called after me as I walked out. Sienna. I didn't turn around. That afternoon, I drove to the cabin. Parked on the road. I could see the oak tree from where I sat. My grandfather's initials were still there. PM plus CM 1972. Below them, mine. SM 2004. I whispered, I'm taking it back. Then I drove straight to my attorney's office. Jennifer Walsh, elder law specialist. I'd gotten her name from the hospital's legal department. I walked in and said, I confronted him. He denied everything. He threatened me. I want to file the complaint. Today. Jennifer looked at me for a long moment. Are you sure? Once we file, there's no going back. I'm sure. He's had 6 years. I'm done waiting. January 15th, 2026. Jennifer filed a complaint with the Cuyahoga County Prosecutor's Office, Elder Abuse Division. The complaint detailed everything: property fraud obtained under false pretenses, elder financial exploitation, using my mother's illness to coerce me, ongoing harassment, evidence packet attached. They assigned it case number 2026-EA-00183. I wrote that number in my notebook. My lucky number. The number that would give me my life back. That same day, I made another decision. My wedding was originally scheduled for September 2024, but I'd postponed it. Too much chaos. Now I moved it up. February 21st, 2026. And I didn't invite my parents. I didn't invite Tyler. I didn't invite the 58 relatives who'd always chosen my father's version of events over asking me a single question. I invited 18 people: Rachel, Olivia, Amanda, Nathan's family, 3 cousins who'd stayed in touch with me over the years despite family pressure, colleagues who'd become friends, 18 people who actually loved me. On January 20th, my father started texting. Call me immediately. We need to talk about this wedding nonsense. I'm your father. I have a right to be at your wedding. You're making a huge mistake. Family will remember this. 84 messages over 5 days. I didn't respond to any of them. On January 20th, my Aunt Colleen showed up at my apartment building, buzzed the intercom 6 times. I didn't answer. She left a note on my door. Your father is heartbroken. Whatever he did, he's sorry. Please don't do this to the family. I read the note, crumpled it, threw it away. February 21st, 2026. My wedding day. Sacred Heart Chapel, small church in Cleveland, 18 guests. Rachel, Olivia, and Amanda helped me get ready. Hair, makeup. My dress was ivory, not traditional white. This was my second beginning, not a first innocence. My phone was off. My father had called 14 times since midnight. Are you worried they'll show up? Olivia asked. I told security. No one not on the list gets in. If they show, they'll be escorted out. Amanda smiled. That's my girl. You're not the scared 25-year-old anymore. No, I said. I'm not. The ceremony was simple. 20 minutes. Personal vows. I said, Nathan, you've seen me at my worst, when I was broken, when I didn't know who to trust. And you stayed. You never asked me to be smaller. You never asked me to choose you over myself. You asked me to choose us. Together. And that's what I'm doing. Nathan said, Sienna, you're the strongest person I've ever met. You rebuilt yourself from scratch. You protected yourself when no one else would. And you let me in. I promise to always be someone worth letting in. I promise to always show up. When the minister pronounced us married, 18 people cheered. Not one fake smile, not one obligation attendee. This was what family looked like. The reception was in the chapel social hall. Small, intimate. Rachel gave a toast. I've known Sienna for 8 years. I've watched her give pieces of herself away to people who didn't deserve them. But today she's whole. To Sienna and Nathan, may your marriage always be this full of people who actually show up. At 9 p.m., we left for our hotel, the Marriott downtown. A mini honeymoon before the real one next week. I check my phone for the first time all day. 52 missed calls, 97 text messages. A group text from extended family had exploded. Where's the wedding? Why weren't we invited? Is Sienna okay? I showed Nathan. It's starting. Let it, he said. You're married, you're safe. They can't touch this. I kissed him, deleted the notifications, went back to celebrating. What I didn't know, what I wouldn't know until 3 days later, was that while I was on my honeymoon, my father was gathering an army. February 22nd, 2026. 9 a.m. St. Coleman Catholic Church Social Hall. 58 people showed up to an emergency family meeting. My father stood at a podium. Grave expression. He told them his version of events. 6 years ago, his wife had cancer. The family needed help. Sienna volunteered the cabin. They used it as collateral for medical loans. Patricia survived. But then Sienna changed her mind. She accused him of stealing from her dying mother. He'd tried to forgive her. He'd invited her to family events. He'd tried to maintain relationship. And then, yesterday, she'd gotten married. Didn't invite her own parents. Didn't invite her brother. Didn't invite any of them. His voice broke. Fake tears. I'm telling you this because I want you to understand. Sienna has made her choice. She's chosen to reject this family. No real daughter would accuse her own father of stealing from her dying mother. And no real daughter would exclude her family from her wedding without explanation. So as of today, Sienna is no longer part of this family. She's dead to us. 58 people. Most of them nodded. Some cried. Several hugged my father. Aunt Colleen stood up. You did your best, Vincent. It's her loss. In the back row, Cousin Helen sat silent. Something felt wrong. She knew me. This didn't fit. But surrounded by 57 people who agreed with my father, she said nothing. Someone took a photo. Posted it to the family Facebook group. Caption: Family meeting about Sienna's situation. Sad day. The post got 37 comments in 3 hours. Praying for Vincent. Can't believe Sienna did this. She always was selfish. My friend saw it, screenshot it, sent it to Rachel. Rachel called me. I was at the hotel trying to enjoy my honeymoon. I ignored the call at first. Then she texted, "Urgent, call me now." I called back. Rachel sent me the screenshot. I stared at my phone. Photo of 58 people at St. Coleman. The caption. The comments. Nathan saw my face. What happened? I showed him. He weaponized your wedding, Nathan said. He turned everyone against you the day after. I sat down. My voice came out flat. Shock. He gathered 58 people, the day after my wedding, and told them I'm dead to the family. Nathan was furious. This is abuse. This is... I cut him off. My mind was suddenly clear. No, this is evidence. He just made this public, in front of witnesses. That was a mistake. What do you mean? I need to call my attorney. That evening, I called Jennifer Walsh. She listened. Then she almost laughed. Sienna, he just committed witness intimidation and harassment in front of 58 witnesses. This helps our case enormously. Good, I said, because he's not getting away with this. Our honeymoon started Monday, but the war had already begun. We returned from 1 week in the Caribbean on March 7th, 2026. Life continued. Work, home, newlywed bliss, zero contact with family. Behind the scenes, the prosecutor's investigation was moving forward. I'd provided evidence of the February 22nd declaration. The prosecutor started contacting witnesses. Calls going out to relatives. You attended a gathering at St. Coleman Church on February 22nd? Panic started spreading. Group texts exploding. Why is the prosecutor calling? What fraud? Did Vincent really steal from Sienna? My father didn't know why yet, but the walls were closing in. Tyler's wedding was planned for May 18th, 2026. Budget: $62,000. Grand Oak Estate venue. 250 guests. My father had been bragging about it for months, but by early March, money was tight. The rental property management company had frozen his accounts pending the investigation. His savings were depleted. On March 14th, the venue called. Final payment of $35,000 is due by April 15th, or we cancel. My father didn't have it. That's when he called me. March 15th, 2026, Friday evening. Nathan and I were cooking dinner. My phone rang. Dad. On the caller ID. First contact in 22 days. I almost didn't answer. Curiosity won. We need to talk about Tyler's wedding, my father said. No greeting, no apology, just business. Okay? It's expensive. Family needs to help out. I'm asking everyone to contribute. Your brother needs $40,000 from you. I actually laughed. I'm sorry, what? 40,000. Your share of family responsibility. The money's due by end of month. You declared me dead to the family 3 weeks ago, in front of 58 people. Now you want $40,000? We were hurt about the wedding. We can move past it. But Tyler's wedding is happening and you need to contribute. This is non-negotiable. My voice went ice cold. Let me make sure I understand. You want $40,000 from me for Tyler's wedding. After you took my $120,000 cabin, lied about Mom's medical bills, used my inheritance to buy rental property, gave Tyler $50,000 from that rental income, and then publicly disowned me 3 weeks ago. Yes. Family obligation. I paused. Let the silence stretch. Then, I'll get back to you. I hung up. Nathan stared at me. What the hell just happened? I started laughing. Not happy laughter. Hysterical. He actually thinks I'll pay. After everything. He actually believes I'll just comply. Over the next 7 days, my father called 8 more times. Voicemails escalating from friendly reminder to anger to threats. This is ridiculous. You make good money. $40,000 is nothing to you. You're being selfish. Tyler was there for you. I expect payment by March 30th, or there will be consequences. My mother called 3 times. Manipulative guilt. Your brother really needs this? Can't you just help? Tyler texted once. Hey, Dad said you're helping with wedding costs? Thanks. He had no idea. 12 extended family members texted me. All variations of family helps family. I saved every message, every voicemail, all evidence. On March 21st, I told Jennifer about the calls. She said, "He's harassing you. This violates the pending investigation. Keep recording." I smiled. Cold. I have a better idea. What? I'm going to pay him exactly what he deserves. March 22nd, 2026. Saturday morning. I sat at my kitchen table, checkbook in front of me. I pulled out a pen from my desk drawer. The same pen I'd used to sign away the cabin 6 years ago. I'd kept it. Didn't know why at the time. Now I did. Check number 1893. Pay to the order of Vincent Murray. Amount, $1. $1.00. Memo line, Tyler Murray. Wedding contribution, paid in full. I stared at that check for a long time. $1. Not 40,000, not 0. $1. Because 0 means refusal. $1 means payment. I fulfilled the request. I contributed. And the memo made it clear. This is all you're getting. Then I paper-clipped something else to the check. 37 pages. Evidence packet. Title page, Murray Family Financial Fraud, Complete Documentation, 2015 to 2026. Every lie, every number, every receipt. I put everything in an envelope, added a certified mail sticker. Return receipt requested. Signature required. Proof of delivery. At 11 a.m., I drove to Lakewood Post Office. The clerk weighed the envelope. $8.75. Tracking number 9374-1820-0023 5692-3351. Important documents? The clerk asked. I smiled. Very important. They're going to change someone's life. I paid, got the receipt, taped it into my evidence binder. Driving home, I called Jennifer. It's done. I sent him the dollar and all the evidence. He'll get it Monday. Sienna, you just warned him. He knows you have everything now. Good. I want him to panic. I want him to call me 50 times. Because every call? That's more evidence. What I didn't tell my father, but told my attorney, was that I'd also emailed the entire evidence packet to the prosecutor's office, the detective assigned to my case, and Jennifer. Subject line, Evidence Update, Murray Case, 2026-EA-00183. Digital backup before he even received the physical envelope. Saturday evening, I tried to relax. Couldn't. I checked the tracking number every 30 minutes. Sunday, still in transit. Monday morning, March 25th, 6 a.m., out for delivery. Expected by 11 a.m., I went to work. Couldn't focus. 10:16 a.m., notification. Delivered. Signed by Vincent Murray. My heart started pounding. In 30 minutes, my phone would start ringing. Except it didn't. 10 a.m., nothing. 10:15 a.m., nothing. 10:18 a.m. My apartment doorbell rang. I wasn't home. Nathan was, working remote. He texted me. Police at apartment. They want to talk to you. They said it's good news? My stomach dropped. Police? I called Nathan. What do you mean, police? 2 of them, detective and an officer. They're waiting. They said you're not in trouble. Can you come home? I told my supervisor I had a family emergency. Drove home. 12 minutes. Hands shaking the whole way. Detective Scott Hammond and Officer Melissa Rodriguez were waiting on my porch. Professional. Calm. Not uniformed. Plain clothes. I walked up. I'm Sienna Crawford. Is my family okay? Detective Hammond smiled. A real smile. Ms. Crawford, I'm here regarding case 2026-EA-00183. You filed a complaint in January? I nodded, could barely speak. Yes. Based on evidence you provided and additional evidence obtained through investigation, a judge this morning granted emergency orders. He handed me an envelope. This is the property deed for 1847 Hickory Ridge Road, Burton, Ohio. As of 9:30 a.m. today, you are the legal owner. The property has been restored to you. I stared at the envelope. Didn't open it. My hands were shaking. What? You own the cabin again. It's yours. I opened the envelope with trembling hands. Property deed. 3 pages. Owner. Sienna K. Crawford, formerly Murray. Recorded. March 25th, 2026, 9:30 a.m. Oh my God! Detective Hammond handed me a second envelope. This is a temporary restraining order against Vincent Murray. He cannot contact you, come within 500 feet of you, or interfere with the property. Violation is arrestable. I looked up at him. He doesn't know yet, does he? Hammond checked his watch. He's receiving his copies right now. Different officer, different location. I sat down on my porch steps. Couldn't stand. Nathan sat beside me. The detective stood there, patient. Ms. Crawford, there's one more thing. The prosecutor will be in touch about pressing charges. For now, enjoy getting your property back. You earned it. They left. I sat on my porch, holding the deed, crying. Nathan's arm around my shoulders. You did it, he whispered. You actually did it. Grandpa, I said to no one. I kept my promise. Finally. At that exact moment, 8 miles away in Lakewood, my father was having a very different morning. He'd opened the certified mail at 10:20 a.m. Saw my check first. $1. His face turned red with rage. Then he saw the 37 pages behind it. Page 1, timeline. Page 5, medical bills, real numbers. Page 12, rental property purchase. Page 18, Tyler's $50,000 check. He realized I knew everything. His first instinct was to call me, yell, threaten. He reached for his phone. The doorbell rang. 10:52 a.m. 2 uniformed officers. They weren't there to arrest him, just to serve papers. Vincent Murray? Yes? We're here to serve you with legal documents. He signed. Opened the envelope. 3 documents. Restraining order. He couldn't contact me. 500 feet minimum distance. Property seizure notice. The cabin was no longer his. Restored to me. Subpoena. Court appearance required. April 8th, 2026. Fraud investigation hearing. He started yelling. This says I can't contact my own daughter? This says the cabin is… She took the cabin? She can't do this. Sir, these are court orders. If you have questions, contact your attorney. This is insane. She's lying. Her mother had cancer. Sir, we're not here to debate. The orders are effective immediately. Have a good day. They left. My father stood in his doorway, everything collapsing. Then he grabbed his phone. 11:03 a.m. First call to me. Voicemail. 11:07 a.m. Second call. Voicemail. Again. 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 Every 4 to 6 minutes. 52 calls over 4 hours. Angry. Call me now. Desperate. We need to talk about this. Threatening. You're making a huge mistake. Begging. Please, let's work this out. Back to rage. You ungrateful. I didn't answer any of them, just watched the number tick up on my silenced phone. Nathan asked, Aren't you going to listen? No, that's the point. He can scream into the void. I'm done listening. At 3 p.m., my father finally stopped calling. He sat in his kitchen, breathing heavy, surrounded by papers. My evidence packet, the court orders. My mother came home from the grocery store. Honey, what's wrong? He looked up, eyes red. Sienna took everything, the cabin. She went to the police. She told them about the medical bills. Patricia, they know. They know everything. My mother dropped the grocery bags. What do you mean they know everything? She sent me proof. And the court. They gave the cabin back to her. It's over. She won. My mother's face went white. What medical bills? Vincent, what did you do? Over the next 2 weeks, the entire family structure collapsed. The prosecutor's office started calling the 58 relatives who'd attended the February 22nd declaration. Can you describe what was said? Were you aware of property fraud? Group texts exploded. Panic spread. Why is the prosecutor calling? What fraud? Did Vincent really steal from Sienna? My father tried to maintain control. Posted in the group text. Sienna is lying. She's making false accusations. Don't talk to prosecutors. Family loyalty matters. But doubt had been planted. On March 29th, my mother found my father's office drawer unlocked. She opened it. Property transfer document from May 2020. Rental property purchase agreement from June 2020. Bank statements showing rental income. Tyler's $50,000 check. She did the math. Then she called her sister, crying. Kat, I think Vincent lied to me. About everything. He used my cancer to steal from Sienna. And I didn't know. I swear I didn't know. That night at dinner, my mother slid a bank statement across the table. How much did my cancer treatment actually cost? My father froze. What? Simple question. How much? I don't remember exactly. It was a lot. Why? $12,350, not $85,000. You lied to Sienna. You lied to me. You used my cancer to steal from our daughter. Patricia, you don't understand. She stood up. I understand perfectly. You're a liar. And I helped you. Without knowing it, I helped you. She walked out. On April 2nd, the prosecutor called Tyler. Did you receive $50,000 from your father in October 2022? Yes, for my condo down payment. It was a loan. Did you know that money came from rental property purchased with equity from a cabin that belonged to your sister? Tyler's stomach dropped. What? No, he said it was family savings. It wasn't. Tyler called my father that night. Did you take Sienna's cabin to buy the rental property, and then use her rental income for my condo? It's complicated. Mom's treatment cost $12,000. You told Sienna $85,000? You lied. I did what was best for the family. Tyler's voice broke. You stole from my sister, and you made me complicit. I'm living in her inheritance. He hung up. Tyler tried calling me 9 times. I didn't answer. He typed an email. Didn't send it yet. I'm sorry, I didn't know. But I should have asked. I'll find a way to make this right. On April 6th, Tyler's wedding venue called my father. Final payment $35,000 due by April 15th, or we cancel. My father didn't have it. Tyler's wedding was falling apart. Meanwhile, I hadn't thought about Tyler's wedding once. I was at the cabin, measuring for renovations, planning new memories. Different worlds now. April 8th, 2026. Cuyahoga County Justice Center, downtown Cleveland. Courtroom packed. 73 people present. Me and Nathan, my father and mother, separated by a bailiff. Tyler, sitting alone. The 58 relatives, subpoenaed as witnesses. Rachel, Olivia, Amanda in the front row. Attorneys, prosecutor, 2 local reporters. Judge Raymond Kowalski presiding. This is a serious matter involving allegations of elder financial exploitation and property fraud, the judge said. I've reviewed the evidence. We'll hear testimony today. My attorney, Jennifer Walsh, presented our case methodically. Every exhibit on the courtroom screen, property deed, medical bills, insurance explanation of benefits, rental property purchase, Tyler's $50,000 check, February 22nd witness list, the math displayed for everyone to see, left side of screen. Vincent's claim, $85,000 needed for cancer treatment. Right side, actual bills, $12,350 patient responsibility. The gallery gasped. Then my father had to testify. Under oath. Jennifer cross-examined him. Every lie exposed publicly. Mr. Murray, you told your daughter the cabin was sold in 2019, or 2020, correct? I believe so, yes. But property records show no sale. So where was it sold? We used it as collateral. I may have misspoken. Misspoken? Or lied? His attorney objected. The judge sustained it. But the point was made. Did you tell her it was sold when it was not sold? Long pause. Yes. The gallery murmured. Let's discuss the rental property. Where did the $98,000 down payment come from? Family savings and... Your bank records show it came from a home equity line on your daughter's cabin. Is that correct? The cabin was in my name at that point. Legally, yes, but obtained through fraud. Why did you tell your daughter treatment would cost $85,000 when actual patient responsibility was $12,000? I was scared. COVID made everything uncertain. But you purchased the rental property in June 2020, before you knew the real costs, which means you never intended to use that money for medical treatment. My father had no answer. After a 15-minute recess, the prosecutor called witnesses from February 22nd. 6 relatives testified about what my father had told them that day. Each testimony confirmed my father had portrayed me as ungrateful, accused me of lying, claimed I'd rejected the family. As testimony continued, I watched the relatives in the gallery, whispering, shifting uncomfortably, realization spreading. Aunt Colleen testified. Vincent said Sienna had accused him of stealing from Patricia. He said it was a lie. Did he mention the rental property? No. Did he mention medical costs were actually $12,000? Pause. Realization. No, he didn't mention any of that. In the back row, Cousin Helen finally stood. Your Honor, I was there on February 22nd. Vincent told us Sienna was the problem. But I also went to her wedding on February 21st. 18 people were there. It was beautiful, full of love. And I realized, maybe Sienna didn't exclude the family. Maybe she excluded the dysfunction. I think we owe her an apology. The gallery went silent. Judge Kowalski nodded. Thank you for your honesty. At 12:45 p.m., the judge delivered his ruling. Mr. Murray, your actions constitute a clear pattern of financial exploitation and emotional abuse. You manipulated your daughter using her mother's illness as a weapon. You lied about medical costs. You used her property for personal gain. You publicly shamed her when she discovered the truth. Then you demanded $40,000 3 weeks after declaring her dead to your family. This is not how parents treat children. This is how con artists treat victims. My father stared at the table. The restraining order is made permanent for 2 years minimum. The property is confirmed as Miss Crawford's. I'm awarding her $18,500 in damages. Payment due within 60 days. This court is adjourned. The gavel fell. I exhaled. Didn't realize I'd been holding my breath. Nathan squeezed my hand. Rachel whispered from behind. You won. Exiting the courthouse, reporters approached. Ms. Crawford, how do you feel? I stopped. Thought for a moment. I feel like I can breathe again. Like I finally matter. That's all I ever wanted. To matter to my family. But I learned something. I mattered all along. Just not to them. And that's okay. Because I matter to me now. What do you want to say to your father? I looked directly at the camera. Nothing. I have nothing left to say. He can live with what he did. I'm done carrying it for him. I walked away. My father exited separately. Maybe 12 people still with him. Down from 58. He saw me leaving. Started to call out. Remembered the restraining order. Stopped. Watched me go. My mother exited alone. She watched my father watch me. Made a decision. The next day, April 12th, she filed for divorce. We met at a coffee shop. Rachel came with me for support. First conversation in 2 months. My mother cried. Apologized. I should have asked questions. I should have protected you. I was a coward. What do you want from me? I asked. Nothing. Just, if someday you can let me try to be a better mother, I'll do the work. But I'm not asking for immediate forgiveness. I was quiet for a long time. I need time. A lot of time. But maybe someday. We can try. Slowly. Once a month, I said. You can text me once a month. Nothing heavy. We'll see how it goes. She nodded. Grateful. We parted. In my car, Rachel asked, How do you feel? Sad. But not destroyed. That's progress. Tyler showed up at the cabin on April 15th. I was there cleaning. He brought an envelope. $8,000 cash. It's a start, I'll give more as I can. I didn't let him in. We talked on the porch. Tyler, I'm not taking your money. It's your money. I should have asked where it came from. You were 23, in med school. You couldn't have known. He sat on the steps. What do you want from me? I don't know if I can give you forgiveness. Or a relationship. You chose Dad's approval over me. For years. I know. If we rebuild, it's equal. Or it's nothing. Equal. I want that. I took the envelope, handed it back. Donate this to a cancer charity, in Mom's name. Then maybe in 6 months we can try coffee. He left. I watched him drive away. Nathan came out of the cabin. You okay? Yeah. I don't hate him. I just don't trust him yet. Maybe someday. That's fair. Let's go inside. I want to show you where I'm putting the new guest room. My father, alone now in an empty house, made one last attempt. Left a voicemail for my mother. She didn't answer. Patricia, I did everything for this family. The rental property was for our future. Call me, please. She blocked his number the next day. His last tool, control, was gone. Late April 2026. Nathan and I stood on the cabin porch. Renovation starting. New furniture ordered. My grandfather's photos back on the walls. The guest book reopened. First new entry. April 24th, 2026. First night back home. Sienna and Nathan. This is ours. Forever, this time. We sat watching the sunset. Same view as my childhood. How does it feel? Nathan asked. Like I can finally breathe. Like the weight is gone. Are you glad you fought for it? I thought about that. Not for the cabin. I mean, yes, but I fought for me. For the little girl who loved this place. For the 25-year-old who gave it away thinking that's what love looked like. I fought to prove to myself that I matter. That my no is valid. That I don't owe anyone my silence. You never did. I know that now. I walked to the oak tree. Touched the initials. PM plus CM 1972. SM 2004. I added new carving below. Small. SC 2026. Kept my promise. Turned back. Nathan on the porch. Waving. Rachel, Olivia, Amanda arriving for the weekend. Chosen family. This is what family looks like now. People ask if I've forgiven my father. I haven't. Maybe I never will. And I'm okay with that. Forgiveness isn't required for healing. My mother and I talk once a month. It's careful. Awkward. But honest. More than we had before. Tyler and I might have coffee in 6 months. Or maybe we won't. I'm not holding my breath. But the door isn't locked forever. My father? I have nothing to say to him. The restraining order expires in 2 years. I'll probably make it permanent. Not because I'm afraid, but because I don't need him in my life. 52 relatives don't speak to me. 6 do. And you know what? Those numbers are perfect. I'd rather have 6 people who see me than 52 who look through me. I lost 58 relatives. I kept 18 people. And I've never been less alone. If you're watching this because your family feels familiar, I'm sorry. I'm sorry they made you doubt yourself. I'm sorry they called your boundaries betrayal. I'm sorry they weaponized words like family and loyalty. Here's what I learned. Family isn't who demands your silence. Family isn't who guilts you into sacrifice. Family isn't who takes and calls it love. Family is who shows up. Family is who tells the truth. Family is who celebrates your voice, not just tolerates it. You're allowed to choose peace over blood. You're allowed to set boundaries. You're allowed to walk away. And you're allowed to not forgive. If you've ever been told you're selfish for choosing yourself, you're not. If you've ever been called ungrateful for refusing to be a doormat, you're not. And if you've ever walked away from toxic family and felt guilty about it, You shouldn't. If this story resonated, please share it. Someone in your life needs to hear this. Family is who loves you, not who uses you. Remember that. And subscribe if you want more stories about people who chose themselves and won, because I did. I chose myself, and I won. The cabin is mine. The life is mine. The peace is mine. And no one, not my father, not 58 relatives, not anyone, can take that from me again.